Hello and welcome to the installation video for the antibiotic drug prescription project. The first thing we're going to do is download Visual Studio. So we'll type Visual Studio in Google and click on their website. And we're going to go to Download Community 2015. Now, once the installer is downloaded, we're going to go ahead and open it. Now we're going to wait for the installation to initialize. Now, since I already have Visual Studio installed, I'm given the option to modify, repair, and uninstall. But if this is your first time installing it, it'll ask you whether you want to do a standard installation or a custom installation. If you hit custom installation, I'm going to hit modify and we'll be at the same page. Now, we need to scroll down to cross-platform mobile development. You need to make sure that C#.NET Xamarin is installed, and then scroll down to custom tools and development kits. We need to make sure that Visual Studio Emulator for Android is installed, Android SDK and SDK Setup is installed, and the Java SE development kit is installed. Now, go ahead and click install or update, and you'll have all the things you need to get started. Now that we have a working version of Visual Studio in Xamarin, we need to open up the project. Once the project is open, you'll see the Xamarin Mac agent. This is so that you can connect to a Mac device and run an iOS emulator. But we'll close that for now. But we need to make sure that everything is installed properly, so we are going to open up the Android SDK Manager. Now, we need to make sure that Android SDK Tools, SDK Platform Tools, and SDK Build Tools are installed. Now, we also need to make sure that the Android 7.0 API, the Android 6.0 API, and the Android 5.1 API are installed. Now you can choose to install any of the other previous versions. Finally, select the Intel Emulator Accelerator and hit install. Once that's done, we're going to go ahead and open up the Android Emulator Manager. Here we can create and start our emulator devices. We're going to go ahead and create a new one. We'll call it test123. We'll select the device. We'll go ahead and choose a Nexus 5. And our target API is going to be Android 6.0. We'll select the CPU and no skin. Hit OK, and it will create your device. Now that our device is created, we're going to select it and hit Start, Launch. Now that our emulator is running, we're all set to run the project. We'll select the Android project, right-click on it, and hit Deploy. This will build the project and deploy it to our emulator. Now we go to our emulator, open up our apps. There we see guided.droid, and we can open it up, and there's our application. Now you have everything you need to run, modify, and test this project. Thank you for watching.